Hi, welcome back to another instalment. This is my take on ticket sales and buying the right tickets for your trip to Orlando. Now, you'll see here, this is the spreadsheet I tend to use. If you're familiar with either of my other two videos so far on hotels and flights, you'll know that I like to set up a spreadsheet and do a lot of comparisons. Now, what we tend to do, we much prefer to do Universal nowadays than Disney or any of the others. So what we will do is we will get tickets to Universal and probably some sort of Discovery Cove one, which gives you access then to Discovery Cove for a day, but also for 14 days around that visit to Discovery Cove, you'll get access to SeaWorld and Aquatica. Aquatica is a really good water park. I would say the best two water parks in Orlando at the moment are Volcano Bay at Universal and Aquatica. The two Disney ones are okay, but they're definitely not on the same level as those two because they're much newer and a lot of the rides are superior. The beauty of the Discovery Cove, the Universal one, Volcano Bay, is that they use virtual lines, so you get a tapu device, it's called, which you wear on your wrist like a watch. You go to the entrance to a ride, you tap it, and then it tells you when to come back, and then you just go away and come back when it tells you. It's a really good way of doing it. So this will sort of focus on what we do for tickets, but I include other stuff in there just so I can get a handle on what other tickets are available. So because we much prefer Universal, you'll see here what I've done is we've got standard Explorer tickets, which you can buy in this country, which has got an upfront cost per ticket and then no monthly cost. And then it tries to calculate the cost of parking. So I say the number of days there that we're going to be visiting Universal, the cost of parking in Universal, and then that will then calculate out how much it will cost to go. So these are just standard 14-day Explorer tickets. This is how much it would cost if you went to Universal themselves and bought regular 5-day tickets. So that's for 2 5-day tickets that'll cost, because the tickets cost in dollars. This gives you this figure here is the exchange rate currently. So I'm using Google Sheets here, and you can see that the formula in there is Google Finance Currency GBP to USD. So what that'll do, it'll automatically update all the time with the latest figures for the exchange rate, which is really useful. So you can see here the cost here is what I've just put in as the cost for these. I've worked out how much the 14-day Explorer tickets are down here. And then I will calculate from there. So what this one does is it shows you the minimum of those. Now this here is just the standard cost of $328.99, multiplies it by 2. So this will give you the cost of, say, 2 5-day tickets to go into Universal, which obviously costs a lot more. This is the cost of a preferred annual pass. Now what we tend to do with annual passes, if we go for them, is we will go on the 12-month interest-free option. So you pay a 50% deposit of $298.20 currently, and then you pay monthly at $27.11, and again this is dollars. So when you work out the cost here, you have to take into account the exchange rate. If you get a preferred annual pass, you get free parking, so there's no cost for parking no matter how many times you visit. Plus you also get a 10% discount on food and merchandise in the parks, which can actually make a real difference if you decide you want to eat in the parks regularly. It brings the food costs down, not significantly, but 10% is a fair chunk when you because you can be spending $50, $60 on a meal. So for 4 of you, so that will help a lot. We've got here the basic annual pass, which is obviously cheaper. Now these annual pass prices are directly off the Universal Orlando website, and they are for the 3-park annual pass. So the first one here is this figure here is the upfront cost and then the monthly cost. With the basic annual pass, you don't get your 10% discount, but you do get 50% off parking. So that's the parking cost. What I also try and do is just to see where the break-even point is. So I say one of us will get a preferred annual pass, and the rest of us will get 14-day Explorer passes. Now, we've done this a few times in the past, and it has really helped and worked out cheaper. So that's the initial cost, so that's the preferred annual pass, and again that's in dollars, and then there's the £267, so it works all that out, and then the cost per month, and obviously no parking charge then, and then the actual cost, the total cost for all of it. So what we'll do, I'll just show you this here now. So what I've worked out is the break-even point is 8 for this, for us. So if we visit for Universal for 8 days of the holiday, then it will work out cheaper for us to pay the 14-day Explorer passes for 4 of those, and pay for parking on a daily basis. If we go 9 times to Universal, we can see here this adjusts, and it is slightly cheaper then to get an annual pass for one of us, and the rest of us get Explorer passes. The beauty of that as well is that's just the base cost of it. So obviously there'll be savings then if we decide to eat in the parks or buy merchandise, t-shirts and whatever. We would usually in a 14-day holiday visit at least 10 times. So obviously the more times you visit, the more it breaks even and becomes cheaper for you. So that's just a way we tend to do it. The other good thing about annual passes obviously is they are annual, so if you actually visit again within 12 months, you won't have to pay again. You've got the pass then. We have spoken to the guys at Universal, and they say the best option if you're getting a preferred annual pass with a 12-month interest-free option is to actually pay for it the month that you leave, the month that you actually go to Universal. So if you're flying out in March, then buy it early March, and then, because if you buy it sort of 6 months in advance, you're going to get lost on where you are in your payments, whereas at least then you pay for it before you go in March, and then your last payment would then be the following February, so you'll sort of know where you are, but you'll have the pass till March. I don't know whether they still do this, because we've not kept one for more than 12 months now, but what used to happen is when you bought an annual pass, the renewal rate was much cheaper. We first had annual passes when they first came out back in 2000 and 2001. The first one we actually bought, we got with a Burger King voucher, which gave us 2 years for the price of one, which was a massive bargain at the time. We paid $189 for it. And then we kept renewing it, so the $189 kept us going for 2 years. Then we just kept renewing it, and the renewal cost was half price, so we were less than half, or just more than half. We were paying $99 a year then to renew it. So they are worth it. So I'm not sure whether once you've been paying for 12 months, this upfront cost will disappear, and you'll just then start paying your 27. I can't guarantee that, but based on previous history, that sounds as though that's something that would probably happen. So if you're going to go every year, or pretty much every year, then it's worth having annual passes, and you could possibly just sort of invest in starting to get an annual pass for each of your party. It can save you a fortune in the long run. And obviously the discounts help. They will also get you discounts on the Universal hotels. So if you have one of these stays where you decide, well, actually I'm going to spend 2 nights in the Hard Rock, because when you stay in the Hard Rock, or there's 2 other premium hotels, you get unlimited fast pass to the parks, then you will be able to get that Hard Rock at a discount as well with your annual pass. So it'll save you even more money in the long run. So they are really useful. Preferred annual pass is probably the best one, and that's the one we always go for. So if you feel as though that's something that would be useful, then go for it. What I then tend to do is look at Disney tickets. I pick these 3 because I've always had the best prices from these 3 in the past. I will then go and check the website to find out how much the costs are, put them in here, and then it'll take the minimum cost, and it'll calculate it out based on the number of people who are travelling, which I put in on if you remember my flights one, the flight spreadsheet, I put number of travellers here. So all of the rest of the stuff is worked out based on that. So that's what I do for those. So then what I tend to do is I'll put a cost in here. So as you can see, there's quite a large amount of money spent on tickets. So you can save some money, but not a huge amount. So if you look at this as well, what I'll do combo tickets for these. So I do the same three. Orlando attraction tickets, attractiontickets.com, and Florida Ticks. As you can see here, there's some big differences in here. So the Orlando passport, in here the Disney and Universal combo ticket is quite useful, 677. The problem I have with combo tickets is it gives you 14 days unlimited access to both parks. It's unlikely you'll be visiting both parks for 14 days unless you're there for 3 weeks, and then you've got a sort of a bit of a problem, or 4 weeks. So I feel as though they're a waste of money. So I would rather we would rather do is spend it on the Universal, because the Universal tickets are cheaper, and then we will get the odd day at Disney, because we've done Disney multiple times. If it's your first trip, you'll probably be wanting to do Disney more than Universal, so you maybe want to flip that over. I have looked at annual passes for Disney in the past. The problem with annual passes for Disney, they've got about 4 different tiers, and the first 3 tiers are only for Florida residents. So the most expensive tier is for visitors and Florida residents. Gives you lots of options, but you're looking at more like $1,000 for an annual pass for Disney, which obviously it's much cheaper to buy combo tickets for people instead, So that's the way we go there. The other ones we do is we like to do SeaWorld. It's quite a nice day out. Some people have problems with SeaWorld because of the way they treat their animals, and we've sort of never seen any particularly bad treatment of animals, but obviously we don't see what goes on behind the scenes. But we do like to have a day out there. But what we tend to do is we try our best. If you get yourself a Discovery Cove package, a swim package, then the Ultimate Swim, you'll get unlimited access to SeaWorld anyway. And then we do like Aquatica as a water park. It's really good. So this is my take on tickets. Obviously it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but that's the way sort of we work it. So thanks very much for listening. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe and put a like on it, and I'll know to make more. Or if you've got any comments, I'm more than happy to take constructive criticism from people if they want to let me know what they thought I did right and what they thought I did wrong, and we can go from there. Thanks very much for listening.